Hai and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and salam UITM di hatiku. Before I begin my speech today, let me introduce myself first. My name is Nurul Atira binti Muhammad Rais and I am Part 6 from Bachelor of Information Science Library Management IM244 at the Faculty of Information Management UITM Campus Puncak Perdana. So the topic that I would like to share today is cloud computing. Have you ever listened or known about the cloud computing? I'm sure some of you is still unfamiliar with the words. It's okay, let me explain further about this topic. The digital industry changes almost daily. Technology is growing and changing, and it can be tricky to keep on top of all new developments and creations. And while cloud computing is a new development, it has only been recent years that companies have started to turn to it. Many aspects of everyday life have been altered and transformed by these innovative digital solutions. So, of course, I am here today to encourage all of you why we should be implementing and standardizing cloud computing in our organization as well. Okay, so let's start with what is exactly a cloud computing. Well, to put it very simply, cloud computing is the delivery of a computing resources as a services. Moving to the cloud basically means that the resources are owned and managed by a third party provider instead of the end user. Cloud computing is named as such because of the information being accessed that found remotely in a cloud or a visual space. Companies that provide cloud service enables users to store files and applications on a remote server and then access all the data via the internet. This means the user is not required to be in a specific place to gain access to it, allowing users to work remotely. Cloud computing basically takes all the heavy lifting involved in crunching and processing data away from the device that we carry around or sit and work on it. It also moves all of the work to huge computing cluster far away in a cyberspace. The internet become the clouds that is our data, work and applications are available from any device which we can connect to the internet anywhere in the world. Moving on, in a cloud computing, there is certainly an in-depth explanation that we need to explore without having one in our organizations. There are two types of model in cloud computing, which initially is a development models. Not all clouds are the same, and different type of clouds that will suit different domains and how the cloud service itself is deployed. These different types have been developed to try and suit it as much as a different single needs as possible. We may also become across personal clouds and peer-to-peer clouds. There are smaller and more bespoke hands. There are three types of deployment model. Firstly is a public cloud environments that are operated by third party. They are providers who handle and control all the hardware, software, and general infrastructure to client access services through a course that can be accessed by just about everyone and anyone. They provide computing resources such as servers and storage options using the internet. Public cloud is usually common in a smaller business. One of the biggest public cloud service is a Microsoft Azure, which owns and manages huge hardware and a software infrastructure as a user able to access online following on is a private cloud. Private clouds are reserved for specific clients, usually one business or organizations. This means that only the client's employees can have access to these cloud systems. A private cloud permits us to have much greater control over our computing environments and data. Hybrid clouds, lastly, sometimes known as a multi-clouds. Hybrid clouds are basically a combination of a private and public clouds. These clouds basically allow us to move information and data between the private and the public clouds. This can give our organizations much greater flexibilities and can optimize our infrastructure. Okay, now let's move on to our first main discussion for today, which is the benefits of a cloud computing. Truly speaking, cloud computing brings out numbers of benefits. However, I will be generalizing it to the common ones only. The first benefits of cloud computing is definitely cost savings. If you feel quite uneasy about the price that will come up with the makings to switch to the cloud computing, you aren't alone because 20% of organizations are concerned about the initial cost of implementing a cloud-based service regardless of all the concerns. It ensures that once we are on the clouds, easy access to our company data that will save time and money in the projects. Startups and those who are worried they will end up paying for features that they neither needs or wants. Okay, so most cloud computing services are pay as you go. This means that if you don't take advantage of what the system also applies to the data storage space needed to service stakeholder and client, which means that you will get exactly as much as you need and not be charged for any space that they don't take together. This factor results in a lower cost and higher return, not to mention many small and medium-sized businesses with limited budgets are recognizing the benefits of cloud computing. And the second benefit is a collaboration efficiency. Cloud computing can also enable great efficiency in the work processes of various organizations. Technology allows collaboration on a much larger scale among employees within organizations. It allows multiple users from different departments to access the required information, which cloud technology business can overcome geographic restrictions and set up a multi-region infrastructure that can be accessed from anywhere. This drives better collaboration efficiency among officers' teams and contributes to business growth when business combine cloud technology with manage their services. They can share information efficiently, prevent a lot of human errors, and speed up the decision-making processes. These help them boost productivity by focusing on a core task that's the matter. On the other hand, we have discovered a number of benefits of cloud computing. Regardless, there are still a few risks that need to be embraced. For the first risk is the safety of credential if an attacker obtains access to a user cloud credential. The attacker can use the cloud service provided known as CSP services to provision additional resources as well as to target the organization assets. The attacker might employ cloud computing resources to target administrative user other organization utilizing the same CSP or the CSP administrator. An attacker who obtains a CSP administrator cloud credential may be able to access the agency system and data using those credentials. Second is a lack of control. Unfortunately, we use a cloud service provider. The vendor is in control. We have no guarantee that the feature we use today will be provided for the same price for tomorrow. The vendor can double its price, and if our clients are depending on that service, then we might be forced to pay. Also, who controls access to our data in a cloud service? What happens if we are not able to make a payments? Without us realizing it, our data is held hostage by the vendor. We cannot access the service and export our data until we pay up. Next is a non-compliance with regulations and law. For industry, they are regulates data securities such as healthcare banking, governments, and anyone that accepts credit cards. Many data security regulations are intended to protect a specific type of data. For example, HIPAA requires health care provided to protect patients' data. PCI DSS requires anyone who accepts credit cards to protect cardholder data. So, if a company outsources the processing or storage of data that is required to protect, then it's relying on a cloud services provides to maintain its compliance. Now, to recapitulate, the cloud has emerged as one of the biggest drivers of digital transformations, including in our country, because of its cost-saving collaboration efficiency, great disaster recovery, being scalable and flexible, and lastly, environment-friendly cloud computing has enabled the developments that have effected profound changes in these processes, competences, and a very business model of company. However, such a transformation doesn't come without their share or risk. Nonetheless, this risk can be mitigated to a great extent with a little forethought and planning. We must understand that cloud projects and cloud computing is very complex, and it might take time to develop the necessary skills set for all the functionalities involved. Thereby, with care evolutions and strategies, continuous improvement in cloud adoption efforts, we can successfully become a cloud-first organization. And that's all from me. Thank you. Bye bye.